Tommy had just graduated from college and started his first job at a marketing company. He was excited but nervous. At school, he had focused only on his studies and didn't have many friends. Now, surrounded by new colleagues, he felt lost and alone. "Good morning, Tommy," said Sarah, his desk neighbor, during his second week. "Morning," Tommy replied quickly, not looking up from his computer. Sarah waited for him to say more, but Tommy just kept typing. She walked away with a confused look. During lunch breaks, Tommy ate alone while his colleagues chatted and laughed together. In meetings, he rarely spoke up. When he did have ideas, he presented them in a cold, matter-of-fact way that made people feel distant. "Tommy, can you help me with this report?" asked Mike, another colleague, one afternoon. "I'm busy with my own work," Tommy answered without even looking at Mike's problem. Mike frowned and walked away. Tommy didn't notice the hurt expression on his face. After 3 months, Tommy realized he had no friends at work. Nobody invited him to after-work drinks or weekend gatherings. He felt isolated and unhappy. His work performance was good, but he felt something was missing. One evening, Tommy called his grandmother, who had always been wise and kind. "Grandma, I don't know what's wrong with me," Tommy said sadly. "People at work don't seem to like me. I try to do good work, but I feel so alone." His grandmother listened patiently. "Tommy, dear, building relationships is like tending a garden. You need to give before you receive. Have you heard of the 4 ways of connection?" "What are those?" Tommy asked. "They are 4 ancient principles: giving, kind words, helpful actions, and sharing experiences. Let me explain each one to you." Tommy listened carefully as his grandmother continued. "First is giving, not just money, but giving your time, attention, and care to others. Second is kind words, speaking gently and encouragingly. Third is helpful actions, doing things that benefit others. Fourth is sharing experiences, putting yourself in others' situations and working together as equals." "How do I use these at work?" Tommy wondered. "Start small," his grandmother advised. "Look for opportunities to practice each way every day." The next Monday, Tommy decided to try the first way: giving. He noticed that Sarah always looked tired in the mornings. "Sarah, would you like some coffee?" Tommy asked, holding up an extra cup he had bought. "I got 2 by mistake." Sarah's face lit up. "Really? Thank you so much. I didn't have time for breakfast this morning." "No problem," Tommy smiled. It felt good to see her happy. Throughout the week, Tommy practiced giving in small ways. He brought donuts for the team on Wednesday. When a colleague forgot her lunch, he shared his sandwich. He spent time listening when people wanted to talk about their problems. "Tommy, you've been so thoughtful lately," Sarah commented on Friday. "It really brightens my day." The second way was kind words. Tommy realized he had been speaking in a harsh, direct manner. He started paying attention to how he communicated. When Mike made a mistake in a presentation, instead of saying, "That's wrong," Tommy said, "I think there might be another way to look at this. What if we tried?" "Thanks, Tommy," Mike said gratefully. "Your suggestion really helped." Tommy also began genuinely complimenting his colleagues. "Great job on the client presentation, Lisa," or "I really like your creative approach to this problem, David." People started responding more warmly to him. They smiled when they saw him and seemed more willing to talk. The third way was helpful actions. Tommy looked for ways to make his colleagues' work easier. When he finished his tasks early, he asked, "Does anyone need help with anything?" He helped Jessica prepare for a big presentation by staying late to review her slides. He taught Robert how to use a new software program. He volunteered to take notes during meetings so others could focus on the discussion. "Tommy, you're becoming such a team player," his manager, Mrs. Chun, noticed. "Your willingness to help others is really impressive." The fourth way was the hardest: sharing experiences and working as equals. This meant truly understanding others' perspectives and collaborating rather than competing. During a team project, instead of working alone as he used to, Tommy actively sought input from others. "What do you think about this approach, everyone?" he asked during a brainstorming session. "I'd love to hear your ideas." When conflicts arose, he tried to see all sides. "I understand why you feel that way, Mark," he said during a disagreement about project priorities. Let's find a solution that works for everyone. He also shared his own struggles and experiences. I used to be really nervous about public speaking too, he told a new intern. Here's what helped me get better. By being vulnerable and genuine, Tommy found that people trusted him more and felt comfortable sharing with him in return. After 6 months of practicing these 4 ways, Tommy's life at work had completely changed. Tommy, do you want to join us for lunch? Sarah asked one Tuesday. We're planning a weekend hiking trip. You should come, Mike added enthusiastically. Tommy felt a warm feeling in his chest. I'd love to join you both. During lunch, his colleagues laughed at his jokes and included him in their conversations naturally. He felt like he truly belonged. At the company's annual party, Mrs. Chun made an announcement. This year's Teamwork Award goes to someone who has shown incredible growth and dedication to helping others. Tommy, congratulations. As Tommy walked up to receive the award, his colleagues cheered and clapped. He felt tears of joy in his eyes. Later that evening, Tommy called his grandmother. Grandma, the 4 ways really worked, he said happily. I can't believe how different my life is now. I'm so proud of you, Tommy, she replied warmly. But remember, this isn't just about getting people to like you. It's about becoming the kind of person who genuinely cares about others. Tommy nodded, even though she couldn't see him. You're right. I feel like a completely different person. I actually enjoy helping others now. It makes me happy to see them succeed. That's the real magic, his grandmother said. When you give genuinely, you receive joy in return. And that joy is worth more than any award. Tommy looked around his apartment, which now had photos from work events and weekend trips with friends. His phone buzzed with messages from colleagues asking about his day and sharing funny stories. He had learned that building relationships wasn't about trying to impress people or getting them to like him. It was about genuinely caring for others and showing that care through giving kind words, helpful actions, and shared experiences. From that day forward, Tommy continued to practice the 4 ways, not just at work, but in all areas of his life. He had discovered that the secret to good relationships wasn't complicated. It just required a genuine heart and consistent actions. As he prepared for bed that night, Tommy smiled to himself. Tomorrow would bring new opportunities to practice giving, speaking kindly, helping others, and sharing experiences. He was no longer the lonely, isolated person he used to be. He had become someone who brought light and positivity to others' lives, and in return, his own life had become rich and meaningful. The 4 ways had not only improved his relationships, they had transformed him into the person he had always wanted to be.